Welcome everyone, my name is Nate, and today I'm going to be reviewing Haiku the Robot for the Nintendo Switch. The developer was kind enough to provide me a review code, but all opinions expressed are my own. Haiku the Robot is a Metroidvania game about a little robot named Haiku who explores a mysterious underground mechanical world. It imitates some of the best Metroidvania games out there, and does a fairly good job at doing so, even if it does feel fairly derivative at times. The game has a unique world, easy to learn combat, and a fast and slick movement system that makes playing the game an absolute joy. People often say that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Others will say that imitation is cheap. But I say that when imitation is combined with some originality, it can make something great. And I believe that's what Haiku the Robot is. Haiku the Robot starts off with no direction or clear goal at all. You're just plopped into this mysterious world. It's pure mystery and discovery as you maneuver about a hostile and ruined mechanical world. The world has been infected by some sort of a computer virus that makes all mechanical life become violent and attack on sight. You will see machines doing disturbing things like sacrificing themselves to some higher entity or becoming corrupted and maniacal right in front of you. Your robot, Haiku, remains mysteriously immune to this maddening virus. As you discover more and more about the world around you, you encounter a variety of unaffected machines with differing personalities. It's always a joy to explore and then stumble upon a hidden village or unaffected robot. Some of these unaffected machines will give you side quests on your journey, and eventually one of them will set you on the path towards your main goal that will drive you to explore the furthest ends of the world. The world of Haiku is heartfully crafted with simple yet unique pixel art designs. The game employs a pixel art style that limits many of the areas to a single hue color palette. It's a really unique approach, and with the limitations, it imitates or evokes memories of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. I absolutely love it when developers put limitations on their art styles that allow them to be creative in world design and presentation to make a game that feels truly unique. Now, while the game has a unique art style, it doesn't necessarily have its own unique gameplay. Haiku the Robot borrows a lot of its gameplay mechanics from other Metroidvania games. The game doesn't shy away from its inspirations, and that's not a bad thing at all. There's a morph ball-like mechanic that looks and almost feels exactly the same as the way Samus moves from Metroid. It also borrows a lot from Hollow Knight. The combat system of swinging your sword feels very similar to the nail you swing in Hollow Knight. The healing system is also very similar. You defeat enemies, gain spare parts, and then pause for a moment to fix yourself. It's very reminiscent of the soul system in Hollow Knight. There's also a chip upgrade system in the game as well that gives your character unique power-ups and abilities, and it feels very similar to the charm system in Hollow Knight. Now, while many of these gameplay systems and mechanics feel very similar to Metroid and Hollow Knight, the game does put its own spin on many of these mechanics to feel a little bit newer and not as derivative. For instance, swinging your sword is much broader than Hollow Knight, and healing doesn't use a soul system, but instead uses the in-world currency to heal. While many of these gameplay mechanics are borrowed, in all honesty, the game is pure fun. The gameplay is smooth and slick, and there was never a moment where I got bored with the game. It was a blast the whole time through. Speaking of time, Haiku the Robot is a fairly short game. It only took me around 6 hours to beat. Now, some might be worried at the shorter length, but rest assured it was all quality. The game isn't short because of a lack of content or a smaller world. The game has a ton to explore, and there's a handful of side quests to complete as well. What makes the game shorter is its amazing movement system. One of the pitfalls of many Metroidvanias fall into is slow traversal, character movement, unneeded backtracking, and a lack of fast travel spots. Haiku the Robot doesn't fall into these tropes that can make a game longer than it needs to be. Your robot Haiku moves around the world in a quick and slick fashion. As you gain more and more abilities, exploring the world becomes an absolute joy because of how quickly you can move and return to previous areas and seek out places you might have missed or looked over. There's even a fast travel system in place in the form of a train that will give you a ride to various areas around the world. The pacing of the game is great too. I felt like I was constantly discovering some new secret, getting a new ability, or running into a boss or unique character. This makes the game addictive and propels you through your journey that leaves you with constant excitement in your 6-hour journey. One other thing that makes the game shorter is how easy the combat in the game is. If you are new to the Metroidvania genre, this game might be a good starting point for you because of the ease of combat. Many of the enemies are easy to take down, and most of the bosses took me only 1 or 2 tries to beat. They never felt unfair, and the patterns were very easy to learn. The game did get easy enough to the point where I did desire something a little bit more difficult. So veterans of the Metroidvania genre might want to keep that in mind if they are looking for a tough-as-nails action and combat game. Overall, I loved my time with Haiku the Robot. I highly recommend this game if you've never played a Metroid game before. It's easy to get into and has a fun world to explore. If you are a veteran to the genre and the art style appeals to you, I would also recommend picking it up. But if you are looking for something that pushes the bounds of a typical Metroidvania, you might not find that here. The game is a blast, and I can easily see myself revisiting it in the future when I need a quick Metroidvania fix. Let me know if you plan on picking up this game in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.